Ladies and gentlemen, I was told not to make this video right here. And if I did make it, if I did speak out, I would suffer the consequences. It's no secret that I'm a bit of a polarizing figure when it comes to comedy here in Australia. Now, you may not know this if you're not from this country, but in Australia, unless you are a very PG comedian, you are basically cast out into the nothingness of society. You are not welcome on the comedy stages in this country. The entire industry is dominated by left-wing individuals. Think Hannah Gadsby, these type of people. They are what is seen as the brave and outstanding Australian comedians, and that's basically all the Australian public is exposed to when it comes to comedy. Comedians here play it safe. They self-censor. They know that if they step outside of these boundaries, then they won't be booked. They won't be put on stage. And people who are in the industry, the managers, all these type of powers that be, won't play ball with them. Thankfully, about 10 years ago, I was shunned by this group. I was kicked out because I was too offensive or whatever. That was very, very helpful for me because basically it gave me the license to do whatever the fuck I wanted to do. Offensive humor is just the humor that I really, really enjoy. It's not because I'm a bad person. In fact, I think most people who like offensive humor are better than people who see it as this sickness, as this illness. And that's why you should head to isaacbutterfield.com right now and grab tickets to my Australian tour. They are on sale right now. It's the biggest shows I've ever done. isaacbutterfield.com. Grab them before they sell out. Now, that's a cheeky plug, but also an important segue into why I've titled this video the way I have and what it's about. Over the years, I've started to perform in bigger and bigger venues. When I first started out, it was dingy pubs and clubs. And then when I did my first ever tour in 2018, it was bigger pubs and clubs, and then slightly bigger. And then take Sydney, for example. We went to the Enmore Theatre where bands from all over the world have played. 2,000 people. We filmed a special there. And that's why this year I set my sights on something massive here in Australia, something huge. This venue, the world famous Sydney Opera House. Holy shit, could you imagine if I could pack this place out? What a moment. Bob Dylan's played here, Billy Connolly, Crowded House, the Foo Fighters, Nelson Mandela spoke here. And then it was me who was going to play at the Sydney Opera House. Isaac the Buttsman Butterfield, the hater of vegans and self-described DILF, was going to play at the Sydney Opera House. What a moment it would have been. There's a reason I'm talking in past tense, and that is because it's not fucking happening. I'm not fucking playing the Sydney Opera House. We went through all the right channels, but it's not fucking happening. I have been banned from the Sydney Opera House. They will not have me. I was going to pay the money, I was going to book it, ready to go. It's a lot of money, I think it's tens of thousands of dollars, ready to book it. But I am banned. I am too much of a piece of shit to perform here. The fucking ninth wonder of the world, this big fucking weird looking sail building. Look at it. What the fuck even is this? So I got that information back to me. I was told on a Zoom call by the people who were looking after this tour, past tense as well. They were looking after this tour, they were booking all the shows, and they said, listen, they don't want you there. You don't really fit the mold of the type of caliber of comedians that they have there. And I've heard this response before from venues. I do these ghost hunting documentaries, if you haven't seen them. Once I was told by one of the haunted houses we were going to go to that, and I quote, I won't say the name, but this particular house's values don't align with Mr. Butterfield. You're a house. You're a fucking house. You don't have values. Now, I was told by the people who were booking this tour, do not talk about this. And I was like, why can't I talk about this? This is massive news that the Sydney Opera House has banned me. They said it will affect you in other venues. Other venues will say, oh, Isaac Butterfield makes a video about people that won't allow him in here. Oh, they won't even talk to us now. They'll start pulling out left, right, and center. And I took that advice on board up until the other day when I was sitting there thinking, hang on, who the fuck do these people think they are that they can decide what is appropriate for the people of Sydney or Australia or anywhere in the world to see? Now, you may be sitting there thinking, hang on, this is a private business. They can choose who goes on their stage and who doesn't, and who must be kicked off. Well, I thought that for a little bit too. And then I did a quick Google search. It took me about 10 seconds and I worked out that it's a state government run operation. So is it the government saying that I must not be seen by the people of this particular state? Is it? Remember, this is all because of jokes that I've said about people or political opinions I may have. And my political opinions aren't that outrageous. I think the wage gap's bullshit and I think that men can't have babies. That's pretty much about it. As for the jokes themselves, yes, I've made Aboriginal jokes, trans jokes, I've made jokes about Muslims and Jews. Mate, so fucking what? Who gives a shit? Fucking harden the fuck up. I've also made hundreds of other jokes, thousands of other jokes about other groups of people, and apparently that's fine. Don't worry about that. It's just these certain people you can't make jokes about. Well, fuck that. All right? I make jokes about anyone and everyone. No one is safe. And that's why you should come to my shows. Because I don't curtail my shit to make sure that someone's delicate sensibilities are okay. The faceless people behind these businesses seem to think that anyone should give a shit that they can't deal with comedians telling jokes. I cannot imagine being that weak. I can't wrap my head around it. I've heard people say about my style of humor is that I only do it for shock value. Yeah, fucking well done, you smart. Obviously, that's why I do it. It's like a horror movie. That's why jump scares exist, all right? Because they work. The reason I may say a really horrendously offensive joke is because you think I'm going one way and then boom, I hit you with something else. Anyway, these faceless people that run these businesses and make these decisions are deciding whether or not you can deal with jokes. And that's fucking bullshit. That's what I call on this whole thing. It's just fucking bullshit. We shouldn't be differentiating what jokes we can and can't tell based on what someone in a fucking boardroom says is okay. We should be basing it on whether or not it's funny. Now, some people will say that the jokes that I've told that I've been cancelled for in the past aren't funny. Okay, well, let's take two of them, play them right now and figure out whether or not they're funny based on the audience's reaction. Of course you haven't. They're hard to spot because the ladies already look like blokes. There you go. It was the hundreds of people that night who couldn't make it home from nightclubs in Christchurch because all the cabbies were dead. Those jokes there, and I'm not hanging my hat on them saying they're the best jokes ever. They're just jokes. Like it's a part of an hour-long set, all right? So fucking chill out if you think I'm the greatest comedian of all time based on that. Those jokes there are no different to why did the chicken cross the road? They're set up and punchline. That's all they are. All jokes are the same. They're designed to elicit laughter. And honestly, most jokes aren't filled with truth at all. None of what I just said right there do I believe or do I think about in my personal life. They're just jokes. They're just fucking jokes. Frankly, I don't give a fuck if you find offensive humor tacky or you don't like it. I don't care, you limp-dicked twat. I don't care. I do not fucking care about you. You do not exist to me. That is where I'm at right now, all right? And I imagine most people are like that. They don't want to be around people like you. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm only going to go harder. I'm only going to push the boundaries more. And if I upset more people by doing so, so fucking be it. And that's why I want to invite everyone in Sydney, not to the Sydney Opera House because they're all but to the State Theatre. It's the biggest show I have ever done in Sydney. It's going to be absolutely packed to the rafters, ladies and gentlemen. And we will be filming my brand new special there as well. So head to isaacbutterfield.com right now and grab your tickets. I'll also be in Melbourne at the Palais Theatre on the 7th and all over the country in the days following. Head to my website for that. Let's pack out these fucking shows and give people who try to control comedians the big old fucking double dangers, the big old fuck you, because that's honestly all they deserve. Fuck them to the moon, ladies and gentlemen. You laugh at whatever you think's fucking funny. And if people keep trying to fucking shut us down, so be it. I'll keep performing my shows. I'll keep posting on the internet. And if people don't fucking like it, how about this? Stick it up your ass or don't fucking watch it. That's my honest response to all of you fucking people. Ladies and gentlemen, be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. But Nick stinks. To le revoir. Bye-bye.